Real quick, before we get shooting with the Mark13 Mod O, I want to give a big thanks to our sponsor, which is Nautilus Ammunition. They make great ammunition, 9mm and 223, right here in the United States. Again, they're not a retailer, they are a manufacturer, so you can buy directly through them. They have quality ammunition for a very fair price. They even offer subscription services that will take the price down from the already discounted price. Again, quality 223 and 9mm ammunition. That's Nautilus Ammunition. Feel free to check out their Instagram. I'll put their handle here to be caught up to speed with all the latest sales and promos and product releases. So again, thanks Nautilus Ammunition for sponsoring this video. Let's go ahead and get back to it. Hey, what's going on, guys? Brandon here with Texas Plinking, and I am always excited to make a video, but particularly for this one here. This is a rifle that, as the title may suggest, this is a rifle that's been in the works for a little over 3 years, actually. Crazy enough. So let's go ahead and spare you a few minutes of watching. Let me just go ahead and explain right away that this is a clone, civilian version, a clone of a Mark13 Mod O, or Mod 0. Well before I was of age to even purchase firearms, I knew, of course, of Chris Kyle and everything that he had accomplished. In fact, soon after his passing, I read his book, American Sniper. Soon after that, the movie came out, and of course, that solidified how badly I wanted a version of a, civilian version of a Mark13 Mod O at some point. But the reason I never took the initial steps to do so is there's just a lot of rarity and unicorn parts to put one of these together of things that, of course, are not manufactured anymore. So that, of course, makes it kind of tricky. But one thing after the next, I started finding them and started piecing it together, and so here we are. By some string of luck, I was on eBay, and I found this here. It was the McCann Industries MERS rail, or McCann Industries rail system for MERS. And this is one of the rare parts to build one of these. In fact, the people who built the two guns for American Sniper for the movie, they struggled with finding the rails the most. So a little over 3 years ago, by some luck, I found it and I was willing to pay anything. I lost my brain over it. And so I ended up paying, I think, a little over $600 for the MERS rail. Having that as my only part, I then contacted a gentleman named Dan Ross, the man who actually built the two rifles for Clint Eastwood and American Sniper. And so I just got with him. I said, look, all I got is a MERS rail, and I want a Mark13 Mod O. So yeah, the MERS rail for a Remington 700 long action, which this is what it is. It's a 26.5-inch stainless steel barrel for a 300 Win Mag. At the end here, it's kind of interesting. We've got this donut system to deflect some of the gases, but the suppressor itself is a Knights Armament Mark 11 or SR25 suppressor. Got a Harris 6 to 9-inch bipod, Macmillan A2 stock, and no detachable box mag. It's internally retained here, so it's like your granddaddy's hunting rifle on steroids. Got these spacers here, got this cheek riser. Then we got some Night Force 30mm ultralight rings. Chris Kyle ended up using a 8 to 32 by 56. So I went ahead and put the 8 to 32 on here, trying to mimic his more so closely as possible. So once I got with Dan Ross, I thought that build was gonna happen sooner than it did, but that's not how things go. So that in itself took about 2 years just for the barrel, action, stock, and the rifle to come together. Once that started turning over, I started working on suppressor. Finding an SR25 or Mark 11 suppressor in stock wasn't always easy, but I waited quite a while. I was in every in-stock notification. Finally, one came up. I bought it, and then of course that took 1 year to get approved for that. And the start of it all, the MERS rail, funny enough, wasn't incorrect for building a Mark13 Mod O, but I was gutted when I was looking at Chris Kyle's book, and in the picture of him using his Mark13 Mod O, it was a newer iteration of the rail called the Rev B with a larger window on the left side so you could easily read the serial number. So mine did not have that. So by some luck on Thoroughbred Armament, I actually ended up snagging another one of these rails. So now I got to figure out what I need to do with the other unicorn rail. So that was lucky to find this. Once that was all taken care of, the scope and the rings and the bipod are all things you could buy today. They're still in production, so it's not hard to find. It was used from the early 90s to the late 2000s in Iraq and Afghanistan by Navy SEALs. Those that are very, very well known as well, like Chris Kyle and Robert O'Neill, the guy who ended up killing Osama bin Laden. When he was on a Mark 13, he was on this generation. So this was the granddaddy of the Mark 13s. They then went to the Mod 5, which is an Accuracy International folding chassis. Then Mod 7, which is fairly short-lived, and from my understanding, that's all been replaced by the new Mark 22, or the civilian version is the Barrett MRAD, a multi-cal design. But this is definitely old school, so it kind of, just by looking at it, it screams 2000s and 90s. So pretty cool piece of history. Also, this chassis, or the stock rather, I lucked out. This was actually used by Navy SEALs, and it came with the certificate of authenticity from Macmillan as well. I'll go ahead and throw that on screen. So feel free to pause it and read through it. It's pretty cool. So I just got lucky with that. I got lucky with finding the rails and all of that. But yes, nonetheless, it was over 3 years of an endeavor, and I just put it into a few minutes for you guys. But I figured I'd kind of explain how we got to this point. But imagine the feeling I had when the rifle was here and my suppressor, finally I got approval for it like a month and a half ago, and the suppressor wouldn't fit. The grooves weren't, you know, cut right. Well, if I'm not gonna have a suppressor that fits, I'd rather it be too tight. So I brought it to Blackjack Gunsmithing, the best gunsmith in Central Texas, and they got that suppressor to fit, and it is rock solid. They also did a little bit of trigger work because the trigger initially, for whatever reason, was like 7 pounds. Now it breaks, well, quite a bit below that. So now the trigger feels good and it's ready to rock and roll. So I want to give a big thanks to Blackjack Gunsmithing for getting that all squared away. But yeah, nonetheless, it is squared away. So I'm going to get my first impressions with it. You guys are going to come along for it. I like to get a pretty good zero unsuppressed actually, then throw the suppressor on there just to see if there's a point of impact shift. All right, we are on paper. I tried to bore sight it at home. Looks like I did a pretty piss poor job. All right, let's go ahead, put a second one on there. I did 5 rounds suppressed, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I would call these 2 flyers, but even then, end to end, this thing's looking like a 3/4 gun. I guess we know what we're dealing with now. Should have mentioned I'm shooting 195 grain hotel hull point or open tip match king, what, I don't know, 195. I'll show you the box, but that's it for the 100-yard stuff. Let's stretch it out a little bit. We're gonna start off at 700 yards, which I'm new to MOA. I'm usually a mils person, so 13.8 MOA. So it's gonna be 13.75 here. All right, 700 yards. I'm gonna go for the one on the furthest to the right. Okay, I saw it. That's just low. That was my bad. That was a good hit. I think from what I remember, I was holding slightly left there because that wind kicked up. Try it again. I'm happy with that. All right, got a good old little thunderstorm rolling in. So now with it, there's these winds. We're at 750 now on a larger target, so this should be easier. I'm gonna hold left edge. Well, that was a dead center impact. Love that. Let's just go 2 for 2 here. Absolutely stacked it. Okay, we gotta go 3 then, right? I saw some crazy lightning off my peripheral to the left just now. Wow. All right, that looks like a crazy storm. Shooting the Mark13 Mod. Oh, does life get better than this? Love it. Love that. Let's see if there's anything a little bit further. Just in case that storm's bad, we might have to call it after this range right here. I loosely ranged it standing up with my rangefinder, and I believe it's about 1,000. Puts me at 25.5 MOA. Let's just see what happens. Oh, I don't know if that was a hit and it splashed or if I was barely low. I think I might have been barely low. Huh?
It was a hit.
Oh, okay. Let's just try to hold dead center. Oh, I see it. That was centered up slightly high. It's not an audible piece of steel, maybe not with this wind, but those are good hits. I think you guys will get a better view than me with that camera. right, that was just low the white. This thing's a repeater though, I'll tell you what, for his first day out too. Where's that at?
Dead center.
That was white? Okay, that's what I thought. I don't want to get too excited. Now it's just all about trying to remember the hold. Those dogs are loving it. Well, I mean, we're just pretty much trying to center it up more and more, but hey, at 1,000 yards, it's getting in there, especially with these winds. Tell you what, let's go ahead and just do one more, just because it's been 3 years, so I'm out here. You guys will see more of it, but come on, one more now. All right. Well, this thing is as fun and even more so than I was hoping it would be. I did shoot it briefly off camera without hearing protection. I'll be honest, it's quite a loud pop. These military cans, Surefire and Knight's Armament, they're just not the quietest thing, but their job is to just confuse where the shot's coming from. So it is a little quieter, don't get me wrong, but it's a loud pop. So I'm gonna keep on running the hearing protection. But what the suppressor really did is actually make this thing feel like a 223. I mean, it really softens a 300 Win Mag. The whole thing weighs so much already anyway. So yeah, it definitely shoots as good as it looks, and that was a lot to ask for, but no, it's actually doing really, really well. And I'm gonna have a lot of fun bringing this out some more. I gotta find some more 300 Win Mag ammo for sure, but I owe it to you guys to show it off more. There's like no Mark13 Mod O content on YouTube, so here we go. The 3-year project, Mark13 Mod O clone, and I'm thrilled with it. That is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Catch you guys next time. Take care.